Howdy, Banger Pals. Blaine Smith welcoming you to another Overkill Reviews Bangers Weekly metal review show. And this week, I'm taking a break from the death and the black and just doing a little doom. Yes, this one's about the new Pallbearer record called Mind Burns Alive. It came out May 17th on Nuclear Blast. Formed in 2008 in Arkansas, Pallbearer are a band who made a pretty big splash right out the gate. Their 2010 demo was phenomenal. It's very revered. It attracted a lot of attention, and they followed it up perfectly with their first record, Sorrow and Extinction. I loved Pallbearer. Hell, I used to wear a Pallbearer back patch, but as is common, they progressed from metal bands to more straight rock band, and I took the back patch off, and now it just lives on the wall. I wasn't very taken with their last two records, but I thought it'd be interesting to check back in and review the record as someone who used to really, really love this band. Can they win me back? Can I get back on the Pallbearer team? Let's find out. I seem to have developed this peculiar reputation for being this weird, only likes two metal genres curmudgeon, and I don't know why that is, because I like something from almost every musical genre imaginable. I just need that passion, and I just need it to be high quality, compelling, interesting. I
want to hear a song that I want to spin all day long.
I don't actually begrudge bands for getting less heavy, but if you're going to remove the heaviness from your music, all I ask is that you add something to make up for that loss, not just ease off the gas. And that's something I've never felt Pallbearer has actually done. They had a really strong identity on their first two records, and since then, it's felt more like a bleaching of their sound than anything else. On this record, I hear a bunch of influences. I hear some emo here, I hear some Dinosaur Jr. there, but as a result, it feels a lot more like a band looking for something than they ever did at the start of their career, which is weird that they're kind of like more adrift at this point. I don't personally know anyone that's been particularly enamored with this period of Pallbearer, and while it's not a perfect measure, and don't worry, I'm not a guy that hangs out on Rate Your Music, their first three records have over 2,000 reviews on the site, and their last record has under 1,000. So that suggests that even if they are getting bigger, their listeners don't seem like they're as engaged as they used to be. I know I haven't been. And yes, I apologize for talking about Rate Your Music. I'll never do it again. That being said, I do think this is a big step up from Forgotten Days, which I found to be quite limp. This record, despite being less heavy, has a bit more flavor to the water. They've been watering down their original sound with a light broth, a bubbly level of flavor, we'll say. There's more of a leaning in it, just kind of being 40 Watt Sun here that I can certainly get on board with, since 40 Watt Sun has moved even more out of metal. I thought the transition from Warning to 40 Watt Sun was all going to be all the losing of the sound that we were going to get. And now the 40 Watt Sun's just like an acoustic guitar. What the hell is going on with these bands, man? Why you guys sounded There's some more experimentation and some completely stepping out of metal or hard rock, and I think it benefits the band a lot for me to be not hearing the old sound as much. If they wanted to just fully transition a post-rock band, as is almost the case here, I'd actually vote in favor of that. That's probably a good idea. I think they should do that. But hey, there's saxophone. Yay! The cure for what ails you, the magical elixir that you can basically add to anything to get me on board with. Is sax ever bad? Stop. Point taken, but it totally works here. Hooray! It's only one cameo, but it goes a long way and adds a little more texture and unique character to the record. It's nicely in the track, so it doesn't feel like they're like, hey, here, sax, look, it's a cheat code. The record sounds phenomenal, though. Pallbearer have always been a band that knows how music should sound, and this record just exudes warmth and tone. I swear I can feel like the texture of it, man. It's like a great coffee table. They respect wood.
I respect wood. I revere wood. I'm considerate of wood.
It's actually so good it allows me to overlook a lot of stuff I don't like about the album because I can just put it on, zone out, and enjoy the overall feel of it. It feels nice in the ears. They do things like have more bright guitar tone balanced out by some nice thick bass, and it just makes the whole thing a very pleasurable experience. As I said earlier, there are a lot of parts of this record that remind me of other records, and by sounding this good, it does help me want to listen to this record instead of going, hey, why don't I just listen to a Bell Witch record and get a better version of this. If you're going to kind of be reproducing sounds, you should be reproducing them with as high quality as possible, and this is put a special sticker stamp on the vinyl. We did the full range. One of the biggest challenges with going from metal to rock is suddenly your vocalist gets a lot more front and center. They can't be distorted and buried as much. Man, what do you say about Brett? I'll give him this. He's a great guitar player. He's got a unique sound to his voice. It's very Patrick Walker-y, and I know I said he's unique, then immediately compared him to another guy, but two whole guys with a sound doesn't not make it unique. I enjoy his vocals during big crescendo-y endings to songs, and either thankfully or predictably, songs follow a start low then grow formula, so I'm always going to get him properly in that track, like on Closer with Disease. But do I need Brett unplugged to start a track? Fuck no. There's some skin crawly inducing lyrics to go along with it, like maybe we could fly but we never learned to grow our wings, maybe heaven's waiting but we will never know. I don't know. No. And then there's like the Midwest emo intro to Daybreak. What? Why does this happen for over a minute and a half? I'm going to play it for you. Not a minute and a half of it. Don't worry. I'm only going to play like 30 seconds. But tell me, does this enhance your listening experience? Do you want an all bred acoustic set?
I formed these calluses to guard against the fears I find. Once deeply hidden in all those places that I shield inside.
Sorry, Brett. I know that was a little harsh. I'm a little hard on Pallbearer, but it's because I loved that first record so much. So I know what they've got in them, but their past two just seem to be missing that spark. Here, though, I do feel a little more optimistic about Pallbearer's future because they've opened up their sound a bit instead of the narrowing path they were on before. The loss of heavy is starting to be substituted with something. But at the end of the day, you can always do a lot worse than Pallbearer because they just sound good. And while I don't love this record, it is a good record and it has piqued my curiosity for the next one. And it has been a while since I was like, hey, I wonder if the next Pallbearer record's going to be super sick. Like almost a decade at this point. So on that note, the optimism, the warm, nice warm texture, I can give it 3 out of 5 skulls, and the skulls are from the cover of Foundation of Burden because, man, remember when Pallbearer had good album covers? But hey, don't go anywhere. We've still got shout-outs, of course. So a big shout-out to our Patreon campaign. It's what it pays me to do this. You guys give us a couple bucks, we can do this, and we don't have to sell you razors. It's nice. I can just sell you records like these 4 records. First, we've got Lucifuge. They're a Metal Monthly alumni. They're releasing Hexensabbat on Dying Victims Productions. Mortal Wound are releasing the great titled The Anus of the World on Saco and Ojo. Reversed out of Canada are releasing Wildly Possessed on Invictus Productions. And band. If you want some experimental, but it's black metal, it's not doom. It's Vástígr, The Path of Perdition on Avantgarde Music. So there's 4 more records for you. How you feeling about the new Pallbearer? Like I said, I know a lot of people that really loved the demo or the first record or the first 2 records, and I don't really know anyone who's been enjoying kind of the past little bit. So if you have, let me know what's your feelings on Pallbearer. Get comments, the YouTube nonsense, like, subscribe, bells. I don't know, man.